Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Thursday Night with 912 Sports. I'm Kevin Price, staff writer and podcast host for 912, joined now by Brunswick High School wrestling coach Tom Bartolotto. And of course, coach is in his postseason now, I guess. Brunswick High has had a heck of a regular season. And coach, first of all, congratulations on the great season. We're going to get to that here in a moment. But thanks for being with us here tonight.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
Well, for those who don't know, Coach has been around the block a time or two. This is his second stint here in Glenn County. First, he was with Glenn Academy, did a great job over there, left for a few years. And when he came back, he went across town to Glenn Academy's rival and has done a heck of a job at Brunswick High School. This is his third year over there. And then just this past Saturday, Brunswick High School won its first ever area championship. Basically, that is a region championship. They like to call it area championships in wrestling, but Brunswick won the region championship this past Saturday, beating perennial state power Richmond Hill. Both Brunswick and Richmond Hill ranked in the state, and Brunswick High defeated Richmond Hill in a heck of a championship match. And now Brunswick is headed, of course, to the state tournament, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. But, Coach, I know Richmond Hill has been the measuring stick in this region for years, and, of course, when you came back to Brunswick, they were the guys that you were measuring yourself against. You knew if you could beat Richmond Hill, you could be the area, the region champion, and not only that, be one of the better teams in the state. So on Saturday afternoon, when you guys got that victory, that had to be one heck of a feeling.
Yeah, it was something I always talked about with the kids and everyone that was involved in the program and aimed for. But until you get to that match, which was very, very big, and it happened. It felt great. Richmond Hill is a great program. They won state in 2018. They were third in 2019 and runner-ups last year. And it was a tough match. We beat them 2 weeks ago at Brantley by 18, but they came back. They made adjustments, and I knew it was going to be close. And it was one of those matches where it seemed like they had it, and we had a few surprises in the end, and definitely with our freshman Anthony Lowe, and we were able to pull it out by a point. And very fortunate with the kids how they performed, and it was great. It was a great experience, and I always wondered what would happen with that match. With the region championship last Saturday or this past Saturday, it was great.
And sometimes you don't know exactly how you would react. I don't know if it was kind of business as usual for you guys, or if you guys went crazy, went wild. What was the reaction like when you guys knew you had won it and it kind of sunk in a little bit and you guys accepted that trophy?
There was a lot of emotion. Everyone was happy. It was great. It was definitely a once in a lifetime experience, and that's what you coach for. Seeing the kids real happy and celebrate, and it was phenomenal. I definitely wouldn't trade anything for it in the world.
And of course, just so people know, earlier I did say Richmond Hill is ranked in the state. Brunswick's ranked in the state. Brunswick was the top seed for this tournament, I guess, largely because Brunswick did defeat Richmond Hill earlier in the season. But Richmond Hill came in ranked third in the state, having only lost one earlier match, and that was that match to Brunswick. Now has lost two matches. Brunswick was ranked fifth in the state, and I think you guys have only lost one match all season. Is that correct?
We lost to Colquitt November 24th, and they're ranked third in 7A, and that was pre-football. With football, still going on. It's a little bit with us in Colquitt, of course. So
yeah,
it was kind of a,
I got you. So we had two top five teams in the state going at it. So it's not like Brunswick caught Richmond Hill in a down year, and it's not like this was a surprise, a fluke victory for Brunswick. Brunswick had been trending forward in the positive direction. I think, you guys actually finished second, I think, in your first year. Is that right, behind Richmond Hill, or were you third in the region your first year?
We were second decisively, and second last year. Yeah, they beat us probably by about 25 points 2 years ago, and then last year they beat us by 14. So it was, the gap was closing, and we definitely were on the rise, and So.
Yeah, so you had been closing the gap, and obviously you got these guys going in a hurry. But the interesting thing is, when you came in, you actually told a newspaper reporter here in Brunswick to give you and the Pirates not 1, not 2, not 4, 3 years. You would get it done in 3 years, and I don't know if you were some kind of prophet in a previous life or what, but you got it done in 3 years. I mean, why were you so distinct about 3 years?
I knew that's all it would take, possibly. That's it. When I went to Flagler Palm Coast almost a decade ago, they were 67th in the state in 2012. And the guy that hired me said, I'm giving you 3 years to get us in the top 5. And by 2015, we were in the top 5 of the state in Florida. So that's the way I saw it. And I've had great support in getting there. I've had a great guy that came up here and coached with me, Larry Insulaco. And he works real hard, and we were just able to get things together. I knew it could get done. That was my vision, and we had to do it, and we did it.
And talk about that, Tom. I mean, Brunswick, by no means, I'm sure they had pockets of success and some wrestlers, qualified for state in the past.
In place, yeah.
But as a team, hadn't really had a whole ton of success. So it wasn't like they had a big wrestling tradition. But, talk about coming in and getting a school going. I think maybe what a lot of people don't realize about high school wrestling, if they're not familiar with it, they may think it's a bunch of big guys and they're just out there slinging each other around and getting pins and body slamming each other. But it really takes the smallest of guys to the biggest of guys. I mean, you need a guy that's 100 pounds and a bunch of guys in between all the way up to the heavyweight over 200 pounds. So it's really a sport that can involve a lot of guys at different weights, different sizes and shapes, if you will. But you got to have a guy like yourself that knows all the techniques, knows all the moves, and knows how to train these kids and get them to learn and know how to practice and know how to, get out there and compete. So how do you take a program? You weren't really starting from scratch, but the bottom line is you were starting from ground zero. How do you take a program and build them up so fast to where you go from last in the region, because Brunswick was last in the region, to number 1 in 3 years?
But the most important thing was building a relationship with the kids. I was visiting the middle schools in the spring of 2018, getting to know those kids, getting to know the kids that were in the program, that were young back in the, spring and summer of 2018, and starting to build relationships with them, starting to teach them what their vision was, or the vision was going to be, and setting goals, having support come. I had a great assistant coach come, like I said, Larry Insulaco, and it just went from there, a little bit at a time, taking baby steps, so, our goal initially was just to go to the state duels and finish second in the region. Our goal last year was try and beat Richmond Hill, but it wasn't really realistic, but it was talked about. But this year there was, this was the year to beat them. Most definitely.
And of course, you had that earlier match where a couple of weeks ago where you beat them by a pretty decisive margin. You knew this time around was going to be closer. You knew Richmond Hill was going to juggle their lineup, and they did, and that didn't catch you by any surprise. They were going to try to create some more favorable matchups and get some wins, which they did.
Yep.
But you also felt like you let some matches get away from you. You led some matches late, or maybe it wouldn't have came down to the close finish that it did. And I guess maybe that's kudos to those guys in those matches for coming back on you guys. And I'm sure if you get to face off with them again, maybe that will be to your advantage. And those same guys that let those leads slip away will remember that and kind of avenge those losses if you were to meet again in Macon here in a couple of weeks. But obviously the match came down to a freshman, like you said. I think at the 195-pound class for you, you were down by a margin where you needed a pin in that final match, and a freshman who doesn't have any experience in these big matches against Richmond Hill other than the one earlier goes out and gets it done for you. But just talk about the way that match unfolded and then coming down to that last decisive match like that?
Well, they gained a lot of momentum in the midweights. They won 152, 160, 170, and 182. They won 150, 160, 172 by bonus. They scored 20 unanswered points, and they took a 5-point lead. And then it came down to the last match with a senior. I think his name's Justin McLeod from Richmond Hill, who's pretty good. And then Anthony Lowe, who's gotten a lot better in the last few weeks. And Anthony needed to win by pin for us to win. And Anthony's very good at pinning people. This kid went out there and was beating Anthony up the first period, but he got tired. And then Anthony started taking it to him and then controlled the match and took control of the match and then pinned him. And that was it. Anthony he really has a good motor, and whatever he knows. He does good. He goes hard. He's a fierce competitor. He's got a record of 16-4 as a freshman, and he's tough. He has a shot at placing the state this year, and he's going to be the top seed in the area, traditional. So he's going to be a great wrestler. He's also a great football player too for Coach Pender. So he's a great student as well. So he's an honor student. So he's a great all-around kid. Only 14 years old in that weight class. He's going to be tough. So luckily he pulled it out. We had some other kids that didn't wrestle their best matches, but that's part of it. With 14 weight classes, 14 matches, nothing's going to go perfect. You would like it to, but it didn't. But at the end of the day, we won, and we don't have to travel. And Richmond Hill does, and we're in a spot where we're going to host, but we're not, and that's it.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Just so people know, the way this usually works in a non-COVID year, the normal year, if you will, the number one team and number two team from each area in the state, 8 areas, just like in other sports, would go to Macon and compete for the state championship. So a 16-team dual tournament, team against team, head-to-head for the state championship. Because of COVID this year, the Georgia High School Association was going to make smaller tournaments, if you will. The 8 champions were going to host mini tournaments, regionals, if you want to call them that. So Brunswick was going to be a host this coming Saturday. The Pirates were going to host 4 other teams. It was actually going to be a larger tournament involving more teams in an extra round. So more teams would have actually been involved beyond the area tournaments. But because of COVID, because maybe, quite honestly, some teams hiding behind COVID can see the writing on the wall, knowing that they can just about predict maybe what was going to happen, weren't going to travel, just say, from middle Georgia down here to South Georgia and get wiped off the mat by the Pirates, just simply putting it like it is, have decided not to come. And Brunswick is moving on now to the Elite 8, probably like it would have been anyway, barring maybe Brunswick getting hit by COVID and losing a couple of key, wrestlers, or some other team really just having one heck of a weekend. But the Pirates are now into the Elite 8 because of the scenario. So, Coach, you're not wrestling. I know you would like to earn your way there, but we all felt like you would have been making your way there anyway. So I guess it's just a matter now of getting tuned up, getting ready to go, keeping everybody healthy and safe. But you feel like you got a shot at this thing, being one of the top 5 teams in the state. I know you feel like you at least got an outside shot at it. So what's it going to take to actually go to Macon and get it done in 2 weeks?
Or next weekend, keeping everyone healthy with this situation. If we have the same team as we did this past Saturday, we have a shot at beating the majority of the teams, if not all of them. It depends on how we match up with some of them. Buford's very tough. Alexander's very tough. Creekview's very tough. We're tough. Richmond Hill's tough. Lee County's come on strong this year. Valdosta and Pope are okay. I think they're going to get out. Pope is very young, but they're still impressing people. So I think a lot of it depends on who's healthy with this COVID situation. And I think if we have everyone we have and we go out and we wrestle pretty well. I think we're in the mix. I think we're in the semis, possibly finals. Who knows? But we're right there. Our kids are seasoned. They've went to the state duels the last 2 years and misplacing in the top 4 by one match. So they know what it's about. With it being in one day, with each classification, our kids got to be in shape and got to be able to compete against very good wrestlers. So that's important. With this year, with the COVID, every team pretty much in the state has been able. They've had restrictions and the schedule's been. I won't say it's been weak, but it's been more local and a little bit repetitive. So it's been tough to really schedule tough competition this year without being able to stay overnight at all and travel far. So, whoever's mentally tough, whoever's ready, whoever has their best day will prevail.
And Coach, I'm just assuming that some other regionals have been canceled or maybe will be canceled before the end of the week. I'm assuming out of 7 classifications in the state, this is not the only regional that's been canceled as of right
now. Just our little quad is because we're in a unique situation because it's the 1, 2, 3, and 4 draw. Region 1 has 4 schools. Lee County's tough. Valdosta's tough. Hoco, we wrestled and we beat them by like 70 at Perry Invitational. And then there's Northside Warner Robins, who's, won a state championship, I believe, right? No, that was Warner Robins. But they don't lack a full team. So then you get Region 4, which is South Metro. So there's 7 schools there, but only 3 of them have had wrestling this year. And two of those 3 schools that have wrestling have 4 or 5 kids on the team. And then you got the Augusta region, which is Rockdale, Heritage Conyers, and then, Lakeside Evans, Grovetown, Evans. Those schools over there have had very little wrestling. So that's why, the Region 3 and 4 have been real thin with the wrestling this year. They barely had any wrestling this year. I think they might not even had wrestling until a few weeks ago. So that's the situation you're seeing over there. So it's been tough. So, but even if so, we would have been easy favorites, even if there was no COVID. And those teams would have been full. So.
And Coach, the cool thing about wrestling, not only do you have the duels, team against team, once this is over, you'll have traditional wrestling where individuals can qualify for a state tournament. I think that's really cool. Right. You guys are going to have some guys that can qualify as individuals and go place in state or maybe win state. You had a guy who came here with your assistant coach, Trace Insalaka. He won state as a transfer his first year here. And became an individual state champion for the Pirates. So, not that you guys have had a bad team, but if somebody were on a bad team but are real good individually, they can still go out and win a state individual championship. And I think that's one cool thing about the sport of wrestling.
You got it. That's yeah. And we're going to have that in February. Yeah.
All right, Coach. Well, hey, keep up the good work. Good luck to the Pirates. It's great to see Brunswick having a lot of success in a sport that, maybe a lot of people don't know about. And like I say, it's really cool to see a wrestling match because it's the little guys, it's the big guys, and a lot of guys in between. And I was really kind of hoping you guys would get to compete at home this weekend for that very reason. Maybe a chance for some people to come out and see something they've never seen before. But maybe with you guys having some success, people will come out and see you guys in the future. But I actually think you do have a match Thursday night. Is that at home?
We wrestle Brantley in Appleton County Thursday at Brantley. And then next Wednesday, senior night, we wrestle Glen Academy in Wayne County here in the old gym next Wednesday, January 27th at 5 o'clock. Then we host
the old gym is on Glen Academy's campus, so that will be a good.
No, the old gym in Brunswick High.
Oh, at Brunswick. Oh, we got 2 old gyms now. Hey, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
And then we're hosting the area championship in the new gym on February 5th.
Okay. So, there will be further chances to watch the Pirates and Glen Academy regular season match, coming up. And then, they will have the area traditional wrestling coming up in February as well. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding us. That's going to be exciting. So some chances to get out and watch wrestling if you've never seen it. Brunswick doing well. Glenn's going to be in action. Some other area teams will be here. So, Coach, keep up the good work. Keep everybody
Thanks, Kevin.
healthy
I
and safe.
appreciate it.
And let's go out and see some team championships and some individual championships come your way over there for the blue and gold.
Thank you, sir. I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right.
That was Coach Tom Bartolotto, head wrestling coach at Brunswick High School. He's doing a good job with the Pirates. They are now not only the area champion, but one of the best teams in Class 6A in the state. So keep an eye on the Pirates as wrestling season continues. We'll be back more with here on Thursday night with 912 Sports.